It's time for a Cup of Red, so let's fill your cup with rad pop culture vibes. And now your over-caffeinated hosts, Mike and Katie. Hey kids, guess what time it is? It's Cup of Rad, and we're gonna go full bore into filling your cup because we got our wands out today. That's right, it is a Wizarding World explosion. Yes, that's right, because we got Crimes of Grindelwald. We've recently watched Fantastic Beasts, and Katie had just finished reading The Half-Blood Prince.
Yes, I've been reading all of the books to our son, and so now we've caught up to that. We watched the movies after the books, so we've been now digging into, our whole family is definitely wizard fans.
Well, I like the idea of it. I like the idea because I remember as a child playing with sticks as wands, but back then we didn't have names for our wands or heartstrings for our wands or houses or anything. It was just a stick in the mud. But now it's actually something different and exciting.
Yes.
So
well, now you can have that camaraderie, the community aspect. I mean, it's super fun. We have pins on our jackets and everything, and you're like, oh yeah, I belong to that house, or boo, you belong to that house, and go back and forth. Yeah. And it's kind of funny, right? It's almost like a sports team feel. Mm-hmm. It's a weird group that you can now belong to, and it's a fun, exciting connection.
Yeah, well, totally. And that's the thing that's kind of nice about what J.K. Rowling has done with this world, is created something that people can stand behind, because it's not just books anymore. Yeah. It's also movies, and now it's in clothing and fashion and theme parks
all over the place.
Everything.
Exactly.
So it's not necessarily just a simple fandom. It's a phenomenon.
Yes.
That pretty much feels real.
Well, and it's for all those ages, it really, it feels exactly very real, very immersive almost,
Mm-hmm.
You and me grew up with the books, honestly, and the movies, and now we can get merch to reflect that, and now our son can start enjoying those books. He can watch the movies. Now he's got new movies with Fantastic Beasts coming out. All sorts of, every age can really enjoy this, My whole family, we've got to share different aspects of things that we really enjoy, so.
Yeah. So me, I saw the first couple movies before I read the books.
Okay. I just now read all the books in the last 2 years or so.
Right. And I remember once I saw the couple movies, I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. I'm going to go back and read the books. And I remember getting that point where the books, because I was getting them paperback and I'd gotten them in more like an adult style, mass market.
Oh, yeah.
So they're really cool looking. So I fell behind too, because, I was trying to keep that whole style looking the same, because I'm a stickler for that.
They all have to look the same.
As much as I wanted to be able to read the latest, it was I have to wait for that mass market to come out, because otherwise my whole collection is just going to look weird.
Yes.
We watched all the movies and we read the books and I read that, and I was always one that was like, well, I'm never a Gryffindor. Yeah. I'm not that brave, bolsterous camaraderie of rah, rah, rah. I always assumed I was either a Huffle or a Ravenclaw, and because of the Hufflepuff with the nature and the animals, and then the Ravenclaw because the weird and quirky, right? So when Pottermore came around and I found out about that and I'd done the Pottermore quiz, I was really shocked that I was a Slytherin. That was a bit of a what?
Yeah.
Moment, and it took a bit for me to warm up to that. I'm assuming it came from the fact that I selected the one question that said, would you like to be alone, basically, and I enjoy my alone time.
Yes, you're not a people person, let's be honest.
So as much as I can talk and I can jabber and I love communicating with people when it's about something I really enjoy, I enjoy...
It's either you either enjoy it and you're going to listen to me about it, or I don't want to be around you.
Yeah. So maybe I'm a Slytherin. So it took a bit for me to come around to that.
Yeah.
It was a bit of a like, oh, okay.
Well, you've embraced it now for sure.
Yeah.
You just run with it, and but you do like to make sure you point out to people that I'm mostly Slytherin.
I'm a fringe. I would say I'm a Slitherclaw.
Yeah, you're definitely a Slitherclaw. I, on the other hand, full on Slytherin.
Oh yeah, and she embraces it like a rock star.
Totally rocking that one.
Yeah. She's the witch with the hat and I'm a motherfucking Slytherin. Every day I'm Slytherin.
I'm super excited. I have so much Slytherin clothing and merch and whatnot, and I will totally rock that one.
Yeah.
And it fits me very well, and I'm not anything of an evil or a bad aspect.
Totally evil.
Totally evil. I have an ego, not gonna lie, and you know what? It makes sense. And having that connection, though, and still the group connection idea, because I know those houses are supposed to be places where you will thrive.
Yeah.
At the same time,
that's where I have to try to think is that it says that the hat will place you in a place that you're supposed to enhance some of the qualities that need nurturing.
Exactly. And so I don't really know exactly, other than the fact for myself, if I think of it that way, is the connection to people. And because there's still there, as much as Hufflepuff is a loyalty aspect, there is still strong loyalty among the other Slytherins.
Yeah.
And there's still that group and that connection. But I think those other houses I would feel a little lost in myself.
Yeah. So when we went to Universal, I was really excited. I embraced it. I bought a shirt and things like that.
We got our scarf.
Pins and their scarves. Yes. And I was like, no, I'm going to do this because I got my Fantastic Beasts jacket, my new jacket from the first film.
And I have my Queenie jacket.
Yeah.
And we love them.
And I love rocking that because if I really could, I would end up wearing outfits like that all the time. I love taking our son to school in my jacket and people in my scarf, and people look at you like, what the fuck is that?
Because who else around here wears it? No one.
Yeah.
Well, right now, he is slowly becoming young Jude Law Dumbledore. I wish I had the ability to get him like an old time suit jacket, because I think he would just show up the movie like that. It would be fantastic. Because his facial hair right now, his hair, everything like that, he looks like a young Dumbledore.
Well, I've been said that if I was to be a Harry Potter character, I'd be Dumbledore or Mad-Eye.
Yes, and I still 100% agree.
I'm going to go with Dumbledore just because I don't want the mad crazy eye.
Yeah?
I hope they don't.
They're two different extremes. Well, Dumbledore, and then when you get really old, Mad-Eye.
So at one point, my eye's just gonna
go off in the other direction. But you know what? It's okay, because if you can see behind you, it's all right.
Hey, well, yeah, that would be amazing,
right?
I mean, when we went to Universal too, we bought wands.
Yes.
I tried to get the closest to mine. Mine was a Rowan wood with dragon heartstring.
Yes, and his wand is awesome.
At Universal, the only Rowan wood one that they said had a giant skull on it,
and it's fantastic,
which is pretty awesome because I love skulls. I've always been partial to skulls and skeletons.
It has a weird fitting for Slytherin as well.
Yeah, right. But it's big. It's very big.
Well, we measured it. It's 17 inches long total.
Yeah.
And that skull is heavy enough that you could turn his wand around and whack someone on the head with it.
It's a bludger.
Yes, it's fantastic.
So I got that. I got the interactive one when we went.
Yes, well, we did that because we got the interactive one for our son, and so then you had something to be able to experience it with him, so you could try things without having to take his wand.
He was very much the stickler of when they said that the wand is for the individual and may backfire.
It was, don't touch my wand, fool.
Yeah, because it could backfire and cause a problem.
Yes. No one's allowed to touch other people's wands.
So
unfortunately mine, was, I believe, chestnut with a phoenix core, and they did not have that at the store itself. So I was like, you know what, I'm still going to enjoy this. I still want a wand. I'm going to get one that I'm just going on the way it looks. I got Hermione's.
Yeah, you liked Hermione's
wand because it was pretty, it was simple, it was delicate looking. So I just went with that. You know what, just going to rock whatever one I like instead of sticking so hardcore to something that is supposed to be and not enjoying it. So
I'm pretty sure if we went now and you got it, you would end up getting Queenie's wand.
Definitely. I love it. It's gorgeous.
So I still don't know what I would do if I was to buy a different one.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wish I had gotten a different one just because it's really heavy.
Well, yours is so
I love it. It's awesome looking.
It's so big. It looks
so long.
But the skull is so heavy. So it really is a little.
But it fits nicely in the palm of your hand, though. If you're like to hold it, like you almost have to hold it like Voldemort style, the way he kind of like barely holds his wand.
That is true, and it lays it on top,
flicks it out.
Yeah,
and,
well, it's flamboyant. Remember?
Yeah, yeah, okay.
Yeah, your heartstring is meant for flamboyant, powerful. It's the wood combination says it's never used for evil wizards because it's a very good defensive wand.
Yeah,
but it's very powerful and flamboyant.
Everything about my wand completely contradicts the house that I'm in.
Yeah.
And contradicts the heartstring that I have.
Yes, it's awesome.
The wood is made for defense and has never been used by a dark wizard. But the heartstring is extremely powerful.
You know what? It shows the conflict that Mike has within him. It completely reflects everything about you.
And in this episode, it's Inside Mike via Harry Potter and the Chamber of Interesting Ideas.
Well, you know what's great with our jackets too? They have the wand holder.
The wand holder, yes.
So
So
that
Hot
was
Topic
really
did a great job with
that
those.
was fun to be able to walk around Universal with our jackets on and have an actual place to put our wand, because our son got his robe and had his place for his wand.
Well, we realized we couldn't buy robes.
No, we weren't students.
We're alumni now, right?
Yeah, it wasn't right for us to have robes, so the
Right?
jackets were perfect.
Yeah, but I kind of want robes.
Yeah,
I was
we
looking
still
at some
do.
of the classic ones they're bringing out for the new movie, and
Yeah.
it's got like the chain on it and all that.
Oh wow.
And I'm like, well, maybe I need a Slytherin robe.
We got our scarves.
You know, I'm kind of feeling that way. I kind of would love to be able to make suit like Dumbledore's suit.
That would be fantastic. And
the new
then
movie.
something like that where you have a jacket and then you could have your wand holder in there, right?
Just like a pimp wizard walking around a theme park.
Yeah, that
I'd
would
sweat my nutsack.
It would be
off
horrible.
in something like that, but it would be amazing because when we did go, it was pretty warm.
as it usually is every time we're in Southern California. It's like 100 degrees. Why not?
Right? But yeah, so we've been able to enjoy the movies, and we've embraced our houses.
Yes, we've embraced our houses. Our whole family has embraced it. It's interesting. Like, I took the Pottermore test for my sister and my dad. They're Hufflepuffs. My mom is a Ravenclaw, which our son was very excited about that he had a fellow Ravenclaw.
Yeah.
My aunt's a Gryffindor, so we have a little bit of everything, and it's great to see the different houses. My dad, it was awesome. So Mike has a Slytherin bathrobe, which looks like a wizarding robe.
Yep.
It's got a hood and everything, and it's totally decked out. My dad has a Hufflepuff robe,
Yes, he
which
does.
is fantastic. That
He rocks that.
He rocks it, and it's awesome.
Yep.
So it's fun that it can be something silly for everyone to enjoy.
Exactly.
And there's no judgment, really. And I think that's why I wanted to kind of rock our Slytherin houses, because it's so funny. Our son's like, yeah, I'm a Ravenclaw, but my parents are Slytherin.
Right?
And he throws us under the bus. But you know what? At the same time, I like that he's still embracing us, but he's not embarrassed to say something about it. But he understands that it's still just fun and that we're still celebrating it.
He's even said, like, hey, they're Slytherin, but they're not evil.
But they're not evil. He stands up for that, which is great. But yeah, we have a very decent pop collection. We have the Hogwarts Express train. One whole bookshelf downstairs is dedicated just to Harry Potter pops.
And
sure.
now the Fantastic Beasts. I love collecting the Beasts. The Beasts from Funko have been fantastic.
Yes.
We got Nagini's coming out, and then you get that lion thing too, which I really want to get.
Yeah, we've already got a couple from the new movie. We have a couple from the old movie.
Yeah.
I really am loving the Fantastic Beasts. I love watching, especially we just watched the original Fantastic Beasts again, and I really like the world that they created and the characters. I was partial to Queenie. I really liked her character. Newt was just really fascinating, and I really appreciate what he was trying to do as his character. We've been reading the Fantastic Beasts book that we have, learning about the different creatures and the different animals, and it's so fun that we have something like that that's a textbook that it makes us feel like it's real.
Exactly.
And who knows, maybe it is.
Yeah, there you go. With the fact that you really like Queenie, we also through Pottermore looked at the Ilvermorny.
Oh yes, we looked at the Ilvermorny
because you can find out what house you would be in that as well. I came out as a horned serpent.
Yes, and we found out that ironically that is very similar to Ravenclaw. So he really is a Slytherclaw.
Or a Raven Slytherin?
No,
Slytherclaw
sounds better.
So, but you and our son ended up being
I don't remember how to say it. I'll look it up
or
right
something
now.
like that.
It was, what? I'm sorry, I'm gonna butcher it, but it looks like Puckwudgie.
Puckwudgie.
Not wedgie, Puckwudgie is what it looks like. So it is supposed to be similar to the Hufflepuff, which is kind of ironic for me. But they did say for the Ilvermorny house, it was meant to be more of, it's not so based on a set of personality traits as you're almost given a selection of different houses. It's a lot more open and free, more based on your mindset. This one was about more heart and loyalty. And so, I mean, it didn't seem super far-fetched by any means, but I thought it was an interesting concept, either with both of us or with all of us, that we got ones that didn't really reflect our Hogwarts, to show that there is a different roundedness to your personalities, that you're not just one or the other.
Yes.
And
because at first when I got the sermon, I was like, seriously, I'm a snake again? Like, what the dog? Like,
yeah, but it's not, it's not meant to be the same, right?
Yeah.
So, but definitely, it's interesting to see that she really gave a different definition than for for the different houses, that it's a lot more connected to nature and a little bit more of the cornerstones of personalities rather than specific traits, but more of the heart, the mind, the soul, the healing aspect. It was a lot more nature-based. It kind of felt like, for you, let's say you're a Pisces, also it was water-based, a lot more earth feel, those types of things. So it was definitely reflecting the North American traditional.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, it was interesting to find that out.
Going forward too, we've only been able to go to Universal Hollywood, which was really fun. I'm looking forward to when we can plan to go down to Universal Orlando and rock that, because that'll be amazing. But Hollywood, walking in, that was
magical.
Amazing.
Magical.
The music, the train, the brickwork. It was just...
Well, it was literally stepping into a different world.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. Everywhere you looked, it was like all of a sudden I was in... Hogsmeade.
It was just a fantastic journey into that.
Yes. Well, and the stores and everything felt different.
Well, the fact that you had closed doors and you actually had to open doors to go in.
Right?
It wasn't
totally
automatic
weird.
doors. It wasn't open
Big
doors.
open areas. It was a little shop that you had to walk around, and it was like how do I get into this store? Is this a store that I can go into?
Yeah, right? And then you found out, the thing I thought was awesome without knowing, but you look into it and you realize doors that have the handle, the long flat handle,
could
open, rounded handles were locked.
Yeah, so once you figure that out, you're like, okay, now I feel smarter about this.
Right?
Well, in the restaurant too, the free broomsticks, that was amazing. The atmosphere, and watching the movie afterwards, you were like, wow, I did just walk into the free broomsticks. Like,
right?
That was perfectly well done.
Yeah, they did a fantastic job. And when you go through there, the thing that was really cool, when you have your school spirit, especially when you go to Hogwarts and you go onto the ride, all the people that are working at Universal are representing their houses.
Yeah, and they'll rock it.
High five you. You know, if you're wearing their house, they're so
You'll find someone from every house there.
Yeah.
And all the different people helping out the wand spots everywhere.
Exactly. And like one time we were having a hard time with the locker thing, because you have to put all your stuff in a locker on the journey, Forbidden Journey.
Yes.
The guy was like, he looked, he's like, you guys are Slytherin. And he's like, high five, man. That's awesome.
Overall, high five to Universal. Their experience for their workers was fantastic.
Oh yeah, we had
absolutely
a great time every time we were there.
Yeah, exceeds expectations all the way around. Everyone was wonderful working there, and especially there you really felt welcome. You know, we could talk to different people, and it was a way to kind of make a connection with everyone.
Yes, it didn't feel like you were wasting anyone's time,
and no one was rude for, like, especially with us being Slytherin and Ravenclaw. You know, if we saw Slytherin, they wouldn't make fun of anyone, or vice versa. You know, they never made us feel bad for being Slytherin and everything, and it was awesome.
Yeah, it was just a great experience all around. I remember when our son was there was a lady there, wasn't a worker. You could tell she'd had a few drinks, because Universal allows you to drink. And she saw our son, and our son has blonde hair, and he was in his robe. We're in line for the Forbidden Journey, and she looks over and goes, "Oh, look, it's a little Harry Potter. It's so cute." And he was like, "I'm not Harry Potter. I'm a Ravenclaw student." And she just looks, she's like, what? He's like, "I'm a Ravenclaw student, yo." Like,
do you see the blue?
Yeah. And I love that he has embraced that.
Yes.
He himself has enjoyed these movies and is enjoying reading the books with you and having the experiences, that he wasn't disappointed that when we did Pottermore for him,
he wasn't a Gryffindor.
He wasn't a Gryffindor. He was a Ravenclaw, and he looked at that and he rocks it. Well,
because he saw that and he's like, yeah, this totally makes sense for me. And I love just that acceptance right there truly shows that he fits there.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Because it wasn't that I wanted to be a certain place. The Ravenclaw is the unique, standing up, being yourself, and learning to appreciate that and accept it. And he really fully embraced that, and he does still till now. I mean, you see something Ravenclaw, he's like, I need to have that.
He's got the socks and the hat and the scarf and the
backpack.
T-shirt and the backpack. Yeah, he goes to school with a Ravenclaw backpack.
Yep.
It's so awesome to see that.
Yeah.
And
well, because that was something we struggled with him, and we still do for a lot of things, is really expressing his personality with that. And that is a way for him to express something about himself that is very unique, because it's not common outside of, say, Universal, seeing people really express their different houses, especially the younger kids, unless they're Harry Potter.
Yeah.
You know, you see for Halloween costumes, you're like, oh yeah, like Harry Potter. Nothing is wrong with liking Harry Potter, but being able to really just immerse yourself into the wizarding world instead. Yeah. And just for him, pretending like he is a Hogwarts student and not just another person is a really big step for someone. Right?
Exactly.
And I really appreciate that world has allowed him to do that.
Yeah, which is really awesome, and it helps embrace that quirkiness that is
Exactly.
that. So, which is really cool. And speaking of which, we're gonna go and we're gonna talk to him about being a Ravenclaw.
Yes, and see what he has to say about that. So a number of years ago, we joined Pottersmore website to be able to sort out and see what houses we were in, because our son was interested. He just started watching, being involved in the wizarding world. And what house did you find out you were in?
Ravenclaw.
And are you supportive of that? Are you happy?
Yeah.
Proud Ravenclaw over here?
Yep.
And what'd you find out I was in?
Slytherin.
Yes, proud Slytherin. Woo, Slytherin.
But not all Slytherins are bad.
Yes. Really, we have Merlin. But you...
And kind of Horace Slughorn.
Kind of. You were very excited to be a Ravenclaw, right? Because what color is Ravenclaw as well?
Blue.
And does that happen to be your...
Favorite color.
Yeah, it all kind of work together, right? So...
Strangely, our favorite colors kind of intertwine with our houses.
Oh, yeah. I'm realizing I really do like the green and black combination, so it's kind of ironic. So we've done Pottersmore, we've done our wand, we've done our Patronus, we've done Ilvermorny House, we've done all sorts of things with that. So your wand, what type of wand do you have? It was a rowan wood, right? Mm-hmm. And we have a phoenix core for it.
Yes.
So you and me share the same phoenix core, and then Dad has the same wood, rowan wood, and he has a different core. So it's kind of interesting.
My wand is very, very flimsy.
Not flimsy. It is, what was it? Surprisingly swishy flexibility. Mine is completely unyielding flexibility, which is quite funny. I wasn't surprised at all with Slytherin myself. Were you surprised with Ravenclaw, or did you seem that it fits you?
At first, I was a little surprised, but then I found out that it kind of fits me.
Yeah? Okay, so then after we had joined this, we went down to Universal to experience Wizarding World down there for the first time.
And
what does that mean for you?
It was fantastic.
Yeah? What kind of fun, awesome experiences did you have at the Wizarding World?
I like that I got picked for the wand assortment.
Oh, the wand choosing ceremony?
Yep.
That was fantastic.
Yeah, I love that you wave your wand and make things move.
Oh yeah, they do testing for spells, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty fantastic.
I made it storm in the room.
Nice. Well, because that day you were all dressed up in your robes. You were definitely rocking the Ravenclaw merch.
Was I wearing my Ravenclaw shirt?
Yep, you had your Ravenclaw shirt on. You had your Ravenclaw robe. We had all sorts of awesome, we were just standing out. So
it was my first time too.
Yeah,
as well as I was celebrating my birthday.
One thing I was very excited about, you have always been very happy to promote Ravenclaw, that you were part of that house. Nothing is wrong with being a fan of Harry Potter by any means, but I love that you took that and rocked your own house, that you weren't, I have to be the same as Harry, Hermione, and Ron.
That's how some people are.
You know what, and that's okay. Fine. Yeah, and I really like that you chose to just embrace yourself and embrace those qualities and still be you. So that's really awesome.
You don't know if they went on Pottermore and were chosen for Gryffindor.
True. So if you haven't checked it out, check out Pottermore.com, and you can do the sorting house. It gives you the Hogwarts house, your Patronus, your wand, and your Ilvermorny house, which is really awesome. I thought it was really a fun website. So anything else that you really enjoyed with the Wizarding World?
I like that when we went there, I got my letter.
Oh, yes. That was our own personal thing. For our surprise, we gave you a letter from Hogwarts, right?
Yeah, and how we found it out was there was a big bang on the window, and then I looked down to see a letter.
Oh, wow. So it just showed up, huh?
Yeah, and I don't recall it being there.
Because Mom and Dad are awesome like that. We're wizards, after all. I mean, what can I say, right?
Yeah.
So with Universal, one of the main attractions, I believe, in the Wizarding World is the interactive wand spots. And we were able to get you an interactive wand.
Yeah.
How was that for you?
The wand spots were very cool because it really felt like you were doing magic.
Yeah. There was, 13 of them, I think, something like that? All different types of spells?
Yeah. There was Relivio.
Oh, okay.
It was by Sweet Socks.
Oh, okay, in the Sweet Shop.
Yes.
And then there was things to move music boxes and things to make what was your favorite one?
Silencio.
And then
as well as the one by the music place that makes everything fly everywhere.
Yeah, it made everything go crazy.
Yeah.
So that was pretty fun. All sorts of different things, making pens move and lights turn on and showing things. Revelio is I think the one you were looking for the sweet shop. It showed the chocolate frog, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
As well as the light one. We were talking a little bit in the dark before and there, and I was doing that spell over and over and over to the lanterns there, so you have light.
Nice. Just constantly doing that.
And what did Dad like to do to you with the tape measure spell?
Yeah, he would just do it behind you.
I have an interactive wand, and I like to mess with his spells.
Yeah, so he would stand back and just be like, I've done the magic for you, and it would mess him up.
Totally did the spells, and he'd think he did it, or he'd be in the middle of doing it, and it wouldn't work because he would be doing it, and it'd mess with his head.
Yeah, so he was real awesome on that one. He's a true Slytherin right there, no, huh?
No, it was. I was being helpful.
You were being helpful.
I was helping his confidence, thinking that he was getting the spells done correctly, because some of them were frustrating.
Actually, some of them were frustrating, especially the first time around, for sure, to get that right movement. So, the rides at Universal.
Yeah.
What did you think of the rides?
I liked both rides. The Flight of the Hippogriff was the exciting quick ride that we went
Over and over again. It was fun. It was cute for what itself, but I mean, literally super short, but it was fun. And then the more intense ride, what do you think of that one?
That's fun. The really only creepy thing is the Dementors.
The Dementors are terrifying. Yeah, that one was it's such an impressive ride. It really does make you feel like you're part of that world, and especially the walk through, it was so awesome being able to walk through Hogwarts and see some of those different things. It was really awesome, so I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Chocolate frogs.
Chocolate frogs. You have a number of chocolate frog cards, right?
I have 3.
Yeah? What kind of cards do you have? Let's see, we have Dumbledore?
Yeah, and Salazar, Slytherin, and Gryffindor. Other favorite thing I liked was the frozen butterbeer.
Oh, I almost forgot about the butterbeer. We had so much butterbeer.
Yes.
It was so delicious. The warm was really sweet, but the frozen butterbeer was absolutely fantastic.
As well as we got 2 reusable butterbeer mugs.
Oh yeah, we brought those home, so we have butterbeer mugs to have at home, and we've tried making our own at home, which has been super fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was really awesome. I really enjoyed that.
Because we went vegan, and the Butterbeer at Universal Studios is not vegan, so we've had to craft our own.
Yeah, well, you know what? We found some awesome recipes to try. We had one just the other day, actually, and that turned out really well. So, always find a different way around it.
Yep.
Okay, so leading up to Fantastic Beasts: Crimes of Grindelwald, we ended up watching the first one.
Yes.
Which was very fun to watch that one again, because it's a very enjoyable film.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I like the new different sense, the different set. You got to see the different characters, different time frame, all of that.
Yeah, rewatching it again, I think we've watched it about 4 times now, 4 or 5 times. I just like the era, and it was interesting going back to that world. So for me, jumping into Crimes of Grindelwald was very exciting to go back to that world.
Yes, definitely. Well, we wanted to be able to see, because it is a direct connection to it, to be able to see what had happened, a reminder of the characters and the situation that was involved. Mm-hmm. So we always like to watch movies that are connected anyway. We watch the first one if there's a sequel, right? So with that, we got our tickets. We were able to take that whole family to go and see the movie this last weekend here.
Yep.
And first initial thoughts?
I found it very good. It was a very enjoyable film for me, because I was very excited to jump back into the world of wizards.
Well, I was excited to see the storyline. It's something different. I didn't ever read the books before I saw the Harry Potter movies, so it was still that same opening where I didn't know where it was going to go, and I liked that I didn't know the process that they were going to take for this suspenseful drama mystery that was going to be played out.
Right. Watching that unfold in that time frame again, because I really like, for myself, I really am a fan of the older times.
Yes, you have gone full bore into that. We have decided you are definitely young Voldemort. That's funny. No, crossing that out. You are definitely young Dumbledore, and you really are fascinated with that. And me too. I am fascinated with that time period. And so the style, the design, and those characters.
The costuming.
Yeah, I enjoy Newt as a character. I love what he's standing for, and I think you can see yourself reflected in it a bit more.
Well, yeah, because there wasn't really anyone, like, I always enjoyed the original Harry Potter books and the films, but I had a harder time really relating to some of the characters. I didn't,
didn't feel a real connection to someone.
Yeah, like I liked Snape because of the outsider aspect, right? Then even with Sirius Black, I had that, but I was older when I read the books. I wasn't the 9 to 12 demographic, right?
Exactly. Well, with Newt really makes sense. The compassionate, involved, definitely cares about what other people.
Well, like they said, you've never met a monster you can't love. Right?
Yes, exactly. Well, and I liked with Dumbledore saying, you don't choose sides. You simply ask if something is right.
Yes.
And I thought that was an interesting comment on the character that he comments. Newt does even throughout the movie. I don't choose sides. He doesn't like doing that because they seem so extreme to him, and because he feels on the side of the animals. Quite honestly, he feels on the side of the people who are misunderstood or the people who are misjudged.
Yes.
So it makes sense. So
exactly. That opening scene. Now, be warned, there is some spoilers.
Not some. There are spoilers.
There be spoilers ahead.
Because how else can we really pick apart the movie without spoiling things? But that opening scene with the escape and the Thestrals in the carriage
was fantastic looking.
Yes.
It was a little murky in some scenes, but at the same time, it was really just epic. That Thestral escape.
Because it was over the water and everything, and it was like, what the is going on?
But you finally get to actually see maybe why people should be more scared of Grindelwald.
Yes. He was very merciless. He was very
powerful.
He could care less. Well, didn't you just look up today, though, that he could do spells without a wand?
Yeah, I see that? That's supposed to be part of it, too.
Like, because
he did that in that scene, though. He dropped the wand that he was using.
That is true.
Right. And as the guy plummeted, then he...
Yeah, you're right. So, he did do that, and so that was pretty intense. So that makes it that's a scary thing right there. Exactly. So many of them are like, "Oh, you dropped your wand. What are you going to do?"
Right.
So that was that just threw you right into it right away. I liked the setup for the drama. I liked that you get to see more about Lita. That was really interesting. I liked that she was not a bad person. You could see why Newt loved her. And you really saw there was a reasoning for it. Yeah. Because she was so ostracized and so hated and just misunderstood and wanting to, okay, well, fine, everyone's going to hate me. I'm just going to play the person that they think I am. Yeah. And she had legitimate reasons from her family history to be angry. Exactly. And I like that I was afraid that his brother was going to be evil. His brother was not evil at all.
No, he genuinely cared about him. He just wanted to keep tabs on him.
Yeah, and he was playing by the ministry rules, and he wanted to be that guy that was doing the right thing that was supposed to be done, and that was part of it, was doing the dirty work of the ministry of having to enforce those rules and play by some of those, shoot first, ask questions later. And I like that he was at least trying to heed Dumbledore's warning of let's not go in guns blazing. Yeah. And that and I think that's what helped Newt come around to him and really show affection to him. Yeah. Was that he generally does feel like he is there to, love him. So.
Oh yeah, you get a good sense that there's family there, and even though Newt tries to stay away from it because he's a hugger, right?
Yes, he's a hugger.
That whole feeling, that he even himself, he's willing to listen to others even when the ministry is telling him he needs to do something else. So you can tell that's a Scamander trait then.
Yes, exactly. That he still has that idea that I still have that little conscience telling me is something really right to do.
Exactly. And then that's probably why then, as much as Newt doesn't want to be as close to his brother, he's drawn to Tina because she has that same
sense,
that thought process.
Yeah, you're right. She is very much like his brother, for sure. So Queenie, we had kind of theorized beforehand with the style, digging into the style of the poster.
And
look
the
at
poster did it. Stupid poster.
Yeah, but I only more recently kind of dug into it. But you know what? It made sense. Switching sides. I'm sad, but at the same time, I understand, and I'm not completely slightly heartbroken because she's not evil.
Yeah.
She's misguided right now. She's falling under the prey of a cult leader.
Yeah.
And I don't fault her for all. She's just doing something that she thinks might get what she wants.
Yeah.
She wants to marry Jacob. She wants to openly love him. And you can't blame her for that. She just doesn't see another option.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Grindelwald is giving her...
saying what she wants to hear.
Exactly. And the mark of the true bad guy is
she's a perfect mark for him to take because she can read minds.
Exactly.
Right.
And anything that he's going to do,
there was a thing that did say that Grindelwald is able to... They said in the movie too, he's able to shield his mind.
Oh, so he's...
Right, when he was in prison, they were like,
okay, there you go. So it's perfect then. That no wonder she can... Maybe that... You know what? She was always very frustrated of being overwhelmed with things. Sometimes she kind of wishes she could turn it off.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a certain peace when she's around him. Maybe she's not even realizing it, but that she doesn't...
Because it showed her in so much panic when she was in Paris there.
Yes, that sheer...
Where she was hearing everyone's thoughts.
It would be overwhelming for her.
Yeah, definitely will be interesting to see. Is it wrong to say that I will be a little disappointed if we don't end up getting like a bit of a Tina Queenie battle at some point? Not at all. I think
that they need to deal with some of that stuff. They need to find a compromise between them. I think Tina is not appreciating Queenie's pain that she's going into because Tina is so much of like, well, this is just the rules.
She follows the traditions, and
Queenie is now so far against that that they need to be able to work out their shit, basically.
Yeah. So I hope we see something along those lines. It was really cool to be able to go back in time and see some of the old Hogwarts.
The students and Dumbledore.
They did that whole scene with the Bogart.
Yes.
And all that, right? I think that was really cool.
Well, it was an interesting storytelling with Letus Bogart. That, what did Dumbledore say? Bogart, actually? Yeah, Bogart, I think he said. Yeah. It's the British accent.
I guess.
But that... With her seeing that sheet, no one knew what it was, and I like that it wasn't revealed right away. It came naturally in the story. You're like, you know what? Because really, those things are individual and possibly, secret idea. And so, she knew exactly what it meant. Yeah. And that's what really matters, right? So Dumbledore, how was it to see young Dumbledore?
It was interesting because he didn't really seem that much different, which was wild,
You could totally just see the same person.
You could still see that it was different, but the way that he held himself and the way he talked, he was very much the mystery and the mystique and very much
even just being a teacher, he seemed like he ran the place.
Yeah.
And he didn't have that same, like, I can just run off whenever I want to feel, but at the same time, it was the definite air of confidence and authority that you would expect from him that he obviously has been having for a long time. And it shows because his history-wise, he was such a big part of the wizarding world outside of Hogwarts as well.
But it was nice to see, and you even saw it with how powerful he really was with that scene with Newt at the beginning.
Oh, the clouds
fog and all that.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
And how fast he was able to basically just apparate, and it wasn't really a thought.
Yeah, he didn't even look like he was trying anything.
We've seen other ones where they have to take that moment to think, and he was just in mid stride and just.
Yeah.
And he was able even to take Newt with him,
he's just so casual about everything he does.
It's so natural.
Yes, very much so. And I really enjoyed. I think he did a wonderful job.
Did a great job bringing him to life.
I really liked Jude Law anyway, but he did a great job. He had that sparkle in his eyes that you think of Dumbledore.
Well, the childish, playful look,
right? But at the same time, very authoritarian. Like, you don't mess with him. And the kindness that I think Dumbledore should be expressed.
Exactly.
I mean, that blood oath, that was something that was awesome. I thought that was really interesting because he was like, no, I can't move against him. And you thought, well, maybe he couldn't because of his feelings, but I like that he physically could not.
Yeah. It's interesting they allude to his relationship in it. They haven't quote fully said it yet, but you still have to think of it as the times, right?
Very much so. It would have been illegal.
I doubt with how many rules there are with the Wizarding World as well that they would be all for it back in the day. It's really interesting to see that there's the allusion to it.
Yes.
I'm curious to see where it's going to go because when they got that blood curse back, he didn't really look as much as he would, or can you break it? I will see.
He didn't seem relieved, truly.
Yeah.
He seemed
happy to have it.
Yes.
On his person.
Well, have it because, as we know from Dumbledore from the future with that too, he wants to be in control of everything. He wants to have the ability to move the chess pieces around.
Yes.
And have
his strategy.
Yeah, his strategy all in his own terms. Exactly. Yeah. So not having that is a piece that he did not have a control over.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if he really wants it broken or not. I'm wondering that regardless of, he knows that Grindelwald's a problem and an enemy, and he understands that. But I think there's a certain amount where if he understands too, if he breaks it, he can fight him, but Grindelwald can also fight him.
Yeah.
And does he really want to do that, or is there an appreciation that he can step back and say, nope, I can't do it?
Yeah, exactly. Because the entire movie you're having Grindelwald talk to different people about how to kill Dumbledore.
Exactly.
Right. That's going to be the interesting fact is when is it going to come to the point where we see the big battle for the Elder Wand?
Yes.
What movie is that going to be? Is that we have to wait till the 5th?
Well, because our son and I just started reading The Deathly Hallows tonight, actually, and so they were just mentioning, it was a memoriam article about Dumbledore's death, and it had talked about Grindelwald battle.
Yeah.
And it said, he was involved in the most epic battle, and people who spoke about it talked about the terror and the awe of this. And I was like, well, there you go. We need to have terror and awe in this battle, so it better live up to what this book is describing it as.
Hopefully.
Right? So
that's what maybe the 5th movie will just be 2.5 hours.
Wizarding battles.
It'd be epic.
Hey, you know what? It can only be better. I was impressed with the final battle with Voldemort and Harry. Imagine now how long it's been and how special effects and everything.
Yeah.
It's bound to be awesome. So.
Right. Well, they really showed too with the fire effects and all that from Grindelwald and the fire beast that he let out.
That thing was awesome. I love that scene. That was super intense. I thought that whole setup there with the Colosseum aspect was a perfect sign for him. He knew exactly what he was doing to be able to prove his point and have a chance to get extra followers, and then he would have totally wreaked havoc across the city. So I think I really enjoyed it. I'm already excited to watch it again. I want to be able to see those details. I would go back to the theater in a heartbeat, honestly.
Oh yeah, I'm very excited to be able to have many views on it.
Yeah, so
it's going to be a long 2-year wait because I think in 2020
that giant lion, the Chinese lion was terrifying and awesome and adorable all at the same time. Our son loved him.
Yeah.
Because the little cat toy thing was just freaking adorable.
Yeah, that was good. We got the Matagots.
Yes.
Those were really cool to see.
Are terrifying little security cats.
Love the fact that they burst into multiple ones whenever they got hit. That was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, that was super fun.
We saw what is being labeled as a chupacabra for a moment in it.
Yeah, that was a weird little,
Yeah, and then we got to see the Kelpie.
Yes,
that was pretty cool because
that was awesome because it looked so terrifying, and Newt was just like, it's adorable to see how much he understands these creatures, and he understands that there's going to be some uncomfortableness. Yeah, that as long as you treat them with that same respect, they're not going to mortally wound you or do anything harming. He wasn't harmed, but it takes a lot of bravery and understanding to accept these creatures and their wildness. Yeah. And even with the cat, he had to put himself out there to, and you saw that in the original Fantastic Beasts as well. Yeah. That there's a lot of courage involved, honestly, with that.
So, and then you got to see baby nifflers.
Yes, those are little balls of horribleness.
It was kind of cool that it wasn't overdone, though. You had your one scene, and then it was kind of done.
Well, even the niffler in general, he used it. That other magic where he got to trace back what had happened as like super detective Newt. That was pretty cool.
That was a fun scene to see because it was different.
There's a lot of what was going on.
Different type of magic.
You know what? I think that what reminds me of you with him is how fast your mind works, and that scene perfectly illustrated that reflection that I see with him. Just like, we're gonna go here and we're gonna go here, and it's doing this, and I've just computed everything and I know what's going on, and so I thought that was a fun thing to see.
So my only real complaint with the movie was there's a few scenes that kind of jumped in a few places.
Yeah, because our son even too was like, what, they're over here now?
Yeah. So there was a bit of pace. I guess you'd say pacing. I don't know if it's pacing or editing per se, but as a whole, kind
of choppy transition.
Yeah, there you go, choppy transition. That's more direct to the point. It's not so vague and buzz sounding. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm very excited for the next one. 2020, I'm assuming they'll stick with the November.
I'm interested to see if Grindelwald is lying to Credence or if he is telling him the truth. Yes. And if he is telling them the truth, how the hell did this get erased from history books? Yes. But quite honestly, my theory is he's lying because he wants Credence to kill Dumbledore. Yeah. So with that, he's got to make Credence hate Dumbledore and be very specific on his rage. And he knows that Credence wants most in the world is to know his parentage. And if he's taken his options away from him, then now, because he had his own lackey kill the servant lady
that
so
knew
he
who
was
he was.
forcing Credence to only listen. He killed all the other ways for Credence to find out about his history. Just by doing that, it could be reeks of cover-up.
Yep.
But he wants him to hate Dumbledore specifically.
Yes.
So what other way to then to say
he says
he is
that
family?
too. He
and
basically says that, you know, you have a brother that left you.
Yeah.
You know.
So I think he's manipulating him.
Yeah.
Why would he not? Why would
he
he
was
suddenly
doing
be
it in the
different?
first one too, when he was Graves, right?
Yeah.
He was manipulating Credence to try to find the Obscurus.
Yeah, I guess that's
Right.
the other thing. We can't forget about everything that Graves did.
Yeah.
You know,
Because it was
Grindelwald.
Yeah.
So I think he's lying to him.
Yeah.
And I think that a perfect way is to lie to him about something that is his family is lost. This great wizard over here is
that has all this
just
power
throwing
and
you
all
away.
this money and all this
Exactly.
fame and all that. It has no need for you.
Exactly.
And then I do not doubt that Grindelwald will bring up the death of Albus's sister
Yes.
and how that Grindelwald will probably leave out that he was involved and
Most likely.
it was all Albus's fault. But
Yes.
you know, so I'm pretty sure that's what's going to lead up, because as of right now he can't move on Albus. So
Yeah, he still can't. I'm curious to see what happens when he finds out that he can't find that blood oath. You know, he's not going to know what happened to it.
exactly.
And this will be an interesting backlash with that. Is he going to know that it's broken, or is there a way for him to be able to feel it and tell?
Yeah.
Or is he, how's he going to react to that?
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see the next route that they take with it. I'm happy that Newt and Tina she got off of her high horse and started listening to him. And I love to see their relationship. I think it was adorable that she showed an understanding and acceptance to try his ways and an openness to understand that he cares about the creatures, and those are beautiful things to him. So it might sound weird,
Yes.
like Jacob don't say the salamanders, but for her, she understands that that's something that matters to Newt.
Yeah.
And I think that's really a beautiful thing. So.
Yeah, so there's so much going into the next one. It's one of those things where it is definitely episode 2 of a 5-episode season. That's
Yeah,
how I'm viewing it.
Exactly.
It's not a second movie and standalone film. It's episode 2 and 5.
Episode 3.
Right.
When does that come out? 2020?
2020. That's about the most they say. I'm
Okay, so
assuming
it's
they're
gonna
going to
be every
stick
2
with
years.
the November date.
That makes sense.
So
we can have it show up on Facebook every 2 years that we went to see
right.
the movie.
Yeah, that's probably what'll happen.
Yeah.
It's a good reminder.
Yeah, exactly. So overall, great movie experience.
Yeah,
Excited
definitely
to watch
fun.
it again.
It's a great world to be in.
I mean, obviously, we gave you lots of spoilers, so hopefully you already watched it.
But let us know what you think. Hit us up on Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah, I'm curious to
and all
get
that,
your
'cause,
reactions and see if you agree with us or you think our theory is crazy or if your thoughts on it.
Yeah, because that's the beauty of it. We all have different opinions. It's all a matter of how we respect everyone's opinions, and we all can work together on that. But everyone has critiquing a film is each own.
It's
their
all
own.
subjective to your own experiences,
Yeah,
and
and what
we are biased because we love the Wizarding World, and I think it would have to be a really horrible movie for me to still not feel magic. And one of the reviews that said there was something about no magic left in it, and I just don't understand where they could possibly come with that. I thought there was different types of magic. I like that you're getting a broader sense of the Wizarding World.
Yeah.
It was so limited, and
I think it's because this is a more dark film out of it, besides like the Deathly Hallows, right? Honestly, too, I think a lot of people, they all read the books before they saw the movies. So,
generally, yeah.
Yeah, so you had a bigger knowledge of the Wizarding World, and so then you got a slice of it in the films.
That is true.
And so you're able to accept, even when they butchered the books.
Well, what was interesting is we talked about that this weekend here with our son, is we mentioned some of the things that were missing from the books, and neither one of us really even caught that when we watched the movie, because we had it in our head of what was supposed to be there, and it was just like we could just fill in the gaps ourselves. But with this, the fact that our only knowledge is this movie.
Is these movies, right? And so a lot of people, I think, they've enveloped so much into the Wizarding World that they're worried that there is canon issues, and there might be. But
we've already kind of questioned that some of ourselves. Yeah,
but at the same time, there's a difference between you can just watch it and find out, and if you don't like it, then you don't like it. If you like it, you like it. But the rage that you see from people worrying about certain character names that show up, and all that maybe it is another character because the first name was never used.
Like McGonagall?
McGonagall. So,
You never know, right?
It's all just watching it and seeing what happens and what goes forward, because
You know what? There's however you respond to this movie, rage or not, and this comes with any fandom, it still is not going to affect your actual enjoyment of something. If you really, maybe you like the original Harry Potters, maybe you don't like Fantastic Beasts. Okay, then accept that. But do you have to be so angry about it? Do you have to rage about it? Do you have to cut people down about it? Or read so much into it that you ruin your own experience?
Yeah.
You know, I don't understand that. Why make yourself into such an angry flurry?
And I think that's one thing that sucks with a lot of social media today. As great of a tool it is, sometimes it allows us to see too much, and then we ruin our own experiences.
Exactly. We talk ourselves into the
because I stopped watching commercials and trailers for this. I tried my best to stay away from. I didn't even read the reviews until we saw the movie.
Yeah, I wanted to stay away from it too.
I didn't even
some of it
hit up Rotten Tomatoes or anything like that. You know.
Well, because then we go in biased for something.
Yeah.
We go in expecting that it's going to be crap, or it's going to be amazing, it's going to be mind blowing, or and it all of that adds into, and there's so many reviews. It's not like you have a few of them, and you kind of get a feel for what they normally are going to say.
Yeah.
It's unnecessary. So go in. Even I know we recommend stuff ourselves.
Yeah.
But you know what? Ultimately, this is my opinion. This is my little slice of thought, and I say I would like you to enjoy it. But I've enjoyed movies that I know my friends haven't, and vice versa. And
exactly.
You know what? It is the way the world is. So but I hope you enjoy it, because I thought it was awesome, and at least give it a chance.
But definitely, I got a kick out of it. I love the anytime I can dress old timey and brandish a wand. So going back to these
you're
movies,
gonna rock the Dumbledore outfit pretty soon here.
Oh yeah, that'll be.
You already have the hair and the beard for it. It's fantastic. Well, our son has already told us that you are like Dumbledore.
Yes, Drew. I forgot to tell you this is I saved this from any of my social media because I wanted to save it for this. So during the movie, we're sitting there, and all of a sudden, our son leans over and goes, "Dad, you're just like Dumbledore." And I was like, "Well, we gotta watch the movie." Shh. So we watched the movie, and we went outside and we're waiting. He's like, "Yeah, Dad, you're Dumbledore." I was like, "Well, what do you mean?" Like, I've got a beard, I've got longer hair, so I was curious to see. And he's like, "Well, 1, you're quirky like him. 2, you talk like him, and 3, well, you look like him." He's like, "But even the way you move, the way that in this movie here, the way he's standing with his hands in his pockets and all that," he's like, you're literally Dumbledore." So I thought it was really cute.
Well, it is adorable. Because he means it as a compliment for sure, right? Well, we were, we were talking earlier about the playful, confident nature of Dumbledore, that how he came across, and that's perfectly you when you have your confidence. You perfectly emulating the character. It's fantastic. So. And for me, you're always 20 steps ahead of everyone in your planning, because your mind works a million miles a minute, and that's exactly what Dumbledore is to me. He's always has his next move, his next plan, his escape route, his next step, expectations of other people, and I mean that in a positive way. That and this is why everyone tells you you'd be a good teacher.
That could be.
Maybe it's your Dumbledore quality.
There we go. So that's what I need to do. I need to go become a teacher and just stand back, my hands
and dress like Dumbledore from the 20s, and it'll be great.
That's what I'll do.
I like it.
That'll really blow people's minds. I can't wait till I get to the age where I can wear the lavender muumuu and the fez, though.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't know if I'm looking forward to that time.
The beard down to my belly.
You're not going to shave or anything like that.
No, I should just stop shaving and stop cutting my hair. I just grow it out.
Live like Dumbledore.
Hashtag live like Dumbledore.
Dumbledore for life. We're still going to use that. So. Anyways, on that note, thank you very much for joining us again.
Hopefully your cup is filled with some enjoyment and some
magical radness.
Magical radness. Sparkly. It's like a Weasley thing.
Something magical. Anyways.
All right. Well, hopefully you all have had fun.
Till next time, take care. Thank you for listening. Love this episode of Cup of Rad? Please subscribe, rate us, and give us a review. Also, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for more rad content.